So yeah, just type it in the chat, whatever you're hoping to get out of this training today. Just to focus vibrationally. Okay, great. That's awesome. Access to peace. Great. You came to the right training. So Nancy says she'd like to have higher vibrations. Higher vibrations, Joel says. Good. Anybody else? That's only like 4 or 5 comments, and I know there's many more people on here. So just jump in. Stay focused on peace regardless of circumstances. Amazing. You guys are on the right training here. Anybody else? So this is one of those kind of things of where people feel like you feel like the emperor with no pants on. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. And so getting the most out of anything is just jumping in. So, you know, the water's cold, just jump in. It might not be as cold as you think. It might be colder than you think. So the point of it is if you jump in, participate, you guys are going to get 10 times more out of this presentation than you ever thought. So, always open to Donna, to everybody, always open to personal growth, but higher vibrations is great. Yeah, stand focused on peace regardless of my surroundings. So, and so this is amazing. So a few more people, just type in the chat. See, here's the thing is sometimes it takes one person to jump in the water. It's that one person that starts dancing all crazy, you know, at the club, and then everybody starts cracking up and kind of starts getting into dancing and the whole thing. So, I mean, thank God for those kind of people, because all of a sudden we don't feel stupid anymore. We don't feel dumb. We don't feel like we're being judged. So understand that this is the no judgment zone, and let's keep it that way. So we just want to understand what is, and therefore we can move on from what is to what we hope to create and what we hope to fix today. So anybody else? Let's see. Okay. Because everybody came here for something. That's the truth. So, and maybe, granted, I'm facilitating this, but maybe I came here for something other than I thought. And usually the gifts just kind of show up. So one quick, here we are. Somebody just sent me a message. He said, are we live? I said, I have to say, yes, we are live. Just a real quick. This is kind of a new group and a new idea that I put together with my friend Chad Nicely. Okay. Some people are still in the waiting room. I don't know why. I don't know why people are still in the waiting room, but it's okay. 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 One last time for those of you that are just logging on now. I'm asking you just to help me out real quick and just tell me why you're here, what you're hoping to gain from this. And actually, sometimes that will help me beyond just the slides to go ahead and help you guys in your highest and best. So awesome. Rob says, good morning, everybody. Awesome. Donna says, to help accomplish my goals, stop self-sabotage. Okay, great. So those of you that haven't joined the Magnetic Mind Shift group, I would highly suggest just clicking in there. I'm going to be probably doing 2 to 3 trainings a week. No cost, just 2 or 3 trainings a week. And for those of you that get the recording of this, or I'll have the, excuse me, I'll have the recording of this probably up later today in case you want to go ahead and share it with friends, that kind of thing. Again, I suggest you guys always, if you find this valuable, then share the information with your friends. If you're a coach, I don't care if you use it in your coaching group. I'm not laying artistic license to any of this. This stuff comes from the universe. It comes through me as a channel, and it's meant to be shared. And so somebody dealing with severe depression that has manifest since returning to work. Okay, well, that's understandable. It's work. You know, sometimes we figure out that like our work is really, really just not soothing our soul. It's not something that we really, really wanted to do, that kind of thing. So we'll see what we can go ahead and do about that. So let me get into the presentation. I just want to make sure that you guys can see my screen. Let's see. Okay. Can you guys type in the chat if you can see my screen yet? Just want to make sure. Zoom was acting up on us the other day, so. Cool. So anyway, I call this the Zen Again release method, is because it is a way, it's a proven process that I've used for nearly 10 years to release the pain that we're dealing with in the present moment, whatever that trauma is, whatever that actually you can release the pain that is caused from trauma from years gone by. And so this is part of the cellular release system. In fact, how we do this is the deepest part that we're holding our pain, we don't realize, is in our cells. And that's in our physical body. That's not in our astral body or soul or that kind of thing. It's in our physical body. And that's why we feel pain. And so the purpose of this is to, first of all, share it with you guys. And as soon as you discover how it works, so you can share it with other people. And so before we move on there, how do you guys know me? Because I'm going to tell you that really quick that I come from a personal development background since 1987. I'm actually 53 years old, and I've been doing this a long time. I actually had a 21-year stint as a radio, morning radio talk show co-host. And I had a lot of fun doing that for many, many years. And after that, I decided to jump headfirst into personal development. And so I've had my own personal development practice for about 7 years, which has kind of morphed into my coaching business and the like. And so I delved into the deepest places that I could to solve my pain and solve my problems, because the self-help books, there was a certain point that wasn't working. And there was a certain point of where the seminars weren't working. And it took me probably another 5-6 years of banging my head to find out there was something different and something deeper, because I had a 6-figure job, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, no reason to be unhappy. And there was a part of me that was just miserable. And I didn't realize that I was carrying around so much baggage. I wasn't realized that I was putting up with so much that I didn't have to put up with. I wasn't realizing why I was in so much pain. And so that pain led me down the rabbit hole to my mentors. Some of them were healers, some were chiropractors, some were kinesiologists. And so some people had some of the secrets from the secret societies that they would share. And so all of that led me to this point. And so just, if you can, just type in the chat of how you guys know me, because some of you haven't. I'm gonna bop out of this. There's some other people in the waiting room. I don't know why. So one of us has been, okay, Joshelle's been to one of the seminars. So is Janet. And so why I say this is some of you people are going to just know me from radio and music, or you're going to just know me as a Facebook friend. It says waiting for host. You guys, I got to stop share. I don't know why that we even have this waiting for host business going on. I don't know why this is happening. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. Okay. So enough about me, because this isn't really about me. This is about you. And so I just want to make sure that I can catch everybody up a little bit here. So you guys, there's a science behind why we are triggered. And so when I talked about releasing your inner Karen, or are you a Karen on Facebook, it's because for whatever reason, social media has been an outlet so we can release our pain and our outrage at whatever it is. And so there's a science behind that. And we think we have our conscious mind rolling over here, right? We think that we're conscious all the time, but there are other factors. And so we think because we have our logical brain that we're not going to be triggered, and that isn't true. There's a lot of factors involved here. And so we discount the lizard brain. And so in the book, the 5-second rule is Mel Robbins writes in the book that if you do not interrupt a pattern, your patterns, you're going to be stuck in that mode: fight, flight, freeze. And so the point is, is when we're triggered is because the lizard brain is activated. And so that's part of the reason why we don't get along politically, is because the lizard brain is triggered. And so so that cognitive difference in our belief that challenges our belief is called cognitive dissonance. And so as boring as that sounds, that's the scientific reason why we're triggered. It's cognitive dissonance. In most cases, is that we have a belief and then our belief is challenged. And so sometimes our belief is not truth, it's just a belief. People can believe in the Easter Bunny, they can believe in Santa Claus, but then you find out later that it's not true. And so, but working through that cognitive dissonance means you have to get past the vibration of the lizard brain. Lizard brain is there to keep you safe. It's in charge of fight, flight. It'll have us freeze. Stands also for fornication, but that's a whole nother it's a whole nother presentation I don't plan to get into. And so so help me out. When's the last time you guys were triggered about anything. Doesn't matter. You could just, you can make it simple, put in the chat, put whatever, politics yesterday, driving yesterday. You know, you could be simple with it. You don't have to get into it too crazy. And so part of the thing is, if you guys stay to the end, I'm going to pick somebody who's actually spent their thoughtful, their time and participated. And I'm going to help them with a one-on-one session with everybody involved, of course, but a one-on-one session is something that they're really struggling with at the end. So I'm looking for participation. And so I'm hoping that we're going to get the right person, the person that's really, really looking for something to change in their lives. Nice. So here's Karen, right? This is the busybody Karen that everybody talks about. The Karen in the grocery store, the person that's just doing the eye rolling. And then this is also Karen. So you guys know when you're triggered, you got your inner Karen going crazy in there, that's the lizard brain. And that's the irritation. That's what we have going on. And my point of it is until we release that, and there's a couple ways I'm going to show you guys how to release that irritation, then you can elevate your vibration, and then you can move on to bigger, better things. So why are we triggered? Number one, it's our pain. So we're in some sort of pain that we have gotten to a level that we're always right on the edge. And so it's pain that's normally not dealt with. And sometimes the nicest people are the ones that have the most pain because they're stuffing it, they're holding it. And so when you add one piece of paper to another piece of paper, as if they're levels of pain, eventually a couple, 200-300 of those pieces of paper, you have a whole ream of paper. You know, that thickness, that heaviness. Now times that to however many experiences you guys have had in your life. Like, what are you holding? What are you carrying on your shoulders? You know, if you see somebody who looks like they've been homeless for a long time, and they have that suntan skin, they're pretty unkept, do any of them hold their shoulders high? No, rarely. They're not holding their shoulders high. They're not holding their shoulders back. Their stance is sloped. It's because they're carrying the weight of the world on their back, but it's the weight of their world. They haven't been able to process their pain normally. And so I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush. I'm saying that's an example. So that's the pain that they're holding. And so think about the pain that you're holding. How's that making you heavy? And so number two, it's your programming. So those are the, 0 to 7 are the formative years. Those where you really soak in the programming. That's where you're in that theta wave, that theta brain state. That's where you also take in a lot of stuff. You start judging yourself. And so it's also the programming with the TV, programming with parents, programming with schools, that programming. And so that ends up getting into our subconscious, and that there's a level of heaviness there. And so the third thing is our environment. So a lot of us, our environments have changed significantly since we've been cooped up, since we've been locked down. All of a sudden we could do this, but we can't do this. And most people don't like being told no, right? Part of the reason why we succeed is because somebody told us no and we said, no, that's not how it's going to happen. Somebody said, your parents said, you're going to go to college, and you said, no, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. You went to some sort of other training or whatever that was. Or somebody said, you're going to have to stay in this small town and work at the window shop, but you said no. That was me. I said no to the small town living. I said no to everything that everybody else did. And I left, went to the West Coast. The truth is I saw this friend just posting, somebody that I didn't realize was in such pain. And then I realized that I knew a little bit more about their childhood. And I knew that he'd been divorced 2, 3, 4 times. And I was wondering why he was spending all his time raging on Facebook. It's because he's full. It's because the pain has been just too much. And the outlet is to post it on your wall rather than going postal, rather than fist fighting somebody, rather than getting drunk. Maybe he's doing that too. I don't know. But the point of it is if you look on your Facebook wall or Instagram or whatever, you see that people are just full. And I think that's actually in one of the next slides. But think about this. So this is, if you guys can remember, we've heard the word PPE for a while here, and it's been personal protection equipment for the past couple months. So it's PPE, but just remember that's the pain, your programming environment. So if you're feeling that pain in your life, you can check in, like, what pain in my life have I not dealt with? You know, what bad programming do I have? What environment am I currently in, and how can I change my environment just a little bit? Because the key to all this is dealing with it. And it doesn't matter who gave you the problems, doesn't matter what problems happened in your life, doesn't matter what happened, whether it's a virus or whatever it is, a bad economy. You're left to pick up the mess. And so you're personally responsible for that. So this goes to those really, really nice people that are willing to take stuff, take on their problems, everybody else's problems, and their own problems. Usually their own problems last. So why we're triggered is what we're willing to accept. We're willing to accept so much bad behavior. We're training people how to treat us. And so why we're triggered is also because what we're holding on to. We're holding on to so much stuff that we're not able to be the person that we came here to be. The truth is that we gave away our power. And so not everybody knows how to get their power back. And so with this process the Zen Again process, I'm going to show you how to get your power back. Because the truth is we're full. When you feel that lizard brain kick in or close to kicking in and always feeling like you're on the edge, you're full. And so Eckhart Tolle talks about this as the pain body. And so it's the fact that we have so much negative programming, so much pain, and then we are in a painful environment. What that does is that just compresses us and compresses and compresses. And what happens when you compress an atom? It explodes. That's nuclear fission. So when you're compressing something and compressing it until it explodes. The good thing about after something explodes is that you've released something. The problem is that you have to clean up a mess. And sometimes the people that you love the most are the ones that get hurt. And so, are you guys ready? Type in the chat. Are you guys ready to release that inner Karen? Because we all have it. Type in the chat. Yes, I am ready to release my inner Karen. How about this? Let's take this one bigger. I know I've been a Karen and I'm ready to release her. Yes, ready to release my inner Karen. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Even the guys are releasing their inner Karen. And that was my point. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or you're a girl. And there's a few of my friends that have been friends for a really, really long time. And they've posted some really like amazingly triggered Karen posts. I was like, wow, dude, wow. And I understand the frustration. And I'm glad that you posted on Facebook rather than taking it out on your wife, your family, or you know, the ones you love the most. You know, but the point of it is posting things aren't going to take care of the problem. It's just going to leave you with the frustration. And the point is like, why hold that? Why? And so I'm going to pop back. Oh, we got two friends that are releasing their inner Karens together. Great. Big releases happening here. Nice. Okay. I'm going to get back to the presentation. Can you guys still see my screen? I want to make sure. Let's just check Zoom. I want to make sure that we're sharing. There we go. Okay. Here's the thing. This, when you start feeling it, you guys feel it, right? It bubbles up. Okay. So, and science says that you have 5 seconds to interrupt that pattern of just losing your mind. And so that's that cognizant awareness that you have. So when you have this pattern that's just, it's bubbling up. And by the way, it could be bubbling up and you trigger your inner pain. And meaning you don't blow up at others. You take it and you grab it and you stew on it. And what that does is that changes the molecular structure of your cells. Those are the things holding things in. Those are the things that cause asthma. Those are the things that cause asthma attacks. Those are the things that cause panic attacks. Those are the things that cause stomach issues, and not being able to digest your food. Those are the things that also can the emotions, I don't want to scare you, but can cause cancer or be a part of the factor of it. Maybe your family doesn't have that in their bloodline, but with enough anger, frustration, bad food, bad water, bad experiences, we can create illness. And here's the awesome thing. We can also create our wellness in just having an awareness every day. And so here's what you need when you feel that bubbling up. This is just beyond the Zen process, the Zen again process, is you need a pattern interrupt word, okay? And that word is your trigger against the trigger, meaning that's the trigger for yourself to pull you out of that mode. And so some people use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off, which is highlighted in Mel Robbins' book. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off. Then you make a different choice. You guys understand, like, this COVID thing was a complete pattern interrupt. All the shutting down this and shutting down that. The problem is that we've got interrupted so many times. We have just a ton more frustration than we ever had. Interrupt. You know, I can't go to Vaughn's because there's no chicken. Okay, I have to go to Albertsons. God damn it, there's no chicken over at Albertsons. Sorry about swearing. That was one of my frustrations the other day, trying to eat at the grocery store. I lost it. Sorry. I got triggered. You know, I got close to being triggered. And so the point is just come up with that word. And so I'll tell you what mine is. So mine is cancel clear. Cancel clear. When I start getting irritated, and granted, you know, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, you know, I have everything that I could ever want and more. And I still have a 15-year-old daughter that is going on 25. And she's a self-help guru already. And so sometimes, you know, I have to remind myself, hey, cancel clear. And then using that word gets me out of the point of where I get past the irritation. And on the other side of our irritation is our understanding. On the other side of write this down. On the other side of irritation is understanding. On the other side of anger is resolution. And so type in the chat, what are your guys's safe words? What are your safe words? Like, think about that. Or your pattern interrupt word. Like, think of one right now. You know what I could do? There we go. I'm going to look at the chat. There we go. So let's see. I'm going to pop into here. Zoom works a lot different than GoToWebinar. And so I'm going to just pop into the chat here a little bit. So let's work on you guys' pattern interrupt words. Okay. Listen, it's got to be a word for that works for you. So Rob says pineapple. As soon as he says pineapple, if that brings a smile to his face or cracks him up, then it pulls him out of that reacting. And it's like, if it's somebody at work, you know, it's like, oh, I'm here to deal with all the pineapples, whatever it is. It elevates your state, your vibration. You know, Mel Robbins wrote a whole book on this, became famous, pulled herself out of horrible depression. If you guys were on the last training I did, I shared with you that deep gratitude also can pull you out of deep depression. thanking for everything you have, and giving up the desire of what you think that you need or that you want. Because what you need is food, water, and shelter. And when you start thanking for that, then other things start coming in, and thanking and thanking and thanking. But somebody uses the word bugger. Strike that. That's cool. If you can say it in 5 seconds, strike that, reverse that. Now, and you can also use, usually when I say cancel clear, I do a snap. I don't know why. It's some cancel clear and I snap. And so if you want to do 2 snaps up, getting a little of that living color thing, 2 snaps up, fine. It's something, any word, it can be any word. Yeah, I pulled my screen off on purpose. I'll get back to the presentation here pretty quick. And so any word, it can be a dirty word. It doesn't matter. The point of it is it pulls you out of that experience. It pulls you out of that experience of when you're, hold on. Apparently my dog that we've had for 7 years doesn't know my wife after 25 years. Mel, can you take her? Okay, thank you. Anyway, I could have got triggered. I could have said, you know, blankety blank dog, which I have before. I said my wife of 25 years, not the dog. The dog's older than that in dog ages. But the point of it is, see guys, I had fun with it and I was able to move on, because otherwise a dog barking would set a lot of people off, you know? And so, did everybody put their word in? Cancel clear. Cancel clear is a good one. Cancel clear. Because what you're saying is, you're saying, I'm done. I'm done with that thought pattern. Cancel clear, I'm done. So, anybody else? Help me out. The more you participate, the more that you're going to receive. The more you're going to get it. I should use big piece of chicken. Okay. Some people have messaged me privately, and I don't think I'm going to share what their safe word is, but and I can see how that would make you safe. Actually, this is interesting. Janet brought up, she said, me too. And so I just thought of a really good one, which is me first. Meaning like I take sanity or peace now, but me first. I'm taking care of this. Some people have one that says idiot, and that's a pattern interrupt. It can be. So, and whatever makes you happy can be a pattern interrupt. Here's the key. Just remembering that you have it. Remember that you have the power to release those triggers. And so I'm going to get back to the presentation here, bring that up, because there is a process. And so I hope you guys have a pen and paper. And if not, if you don't have your pen and paper, go ahead and pull up a notepad on your chat. I will post this in the group. Yeah, I'll just post the process. I'll post this single slide in the group for reference in case you ever need to go back to it. But so this is the Zen Again release process. So number one, write this down. I own this pain. So whatever it is you're dealing with. And so it doesn't matter if you're triggered. If you're in some sort of pain regardless of if it's with your relationship. This is a cellular release system. Okay. So if you don't want this, it's like an energetic splinter in your soul. And if you don't want this experience anymore, then you have to own it. So I own it. I own this pain. And again, it doesn't matter who helped you get to that point. Because the truth is if it's your pain, your programming, and your environment, you've been in all kinds of environments, had all kinds of different programming and all kinds of different pains. And all those are little pieces of paper that have been stacked up to make this big bomb that's ready to blow off. So I own this pain. I am responsible for releasing this pain. And so when you're going to go through all these steps, you're going to do this and be able to release your pain. Whatever you're traumatized with, whatever you're being bothered with. So I own this pain. I am responsible for this pain. Nobody else is responsible for it. You're responsible for releasing it. Maybe some other people are responsible for helping you create it. Things that come out of left field, whether it's COVID, relationship issues, whatever it is. Third step, I am complete with this pain. That means you're done with it. I am complete with it. It's completed. The experience is completed. I am complete with this pain. I am complete with this pain. Think about that. You guys understand that being complete with it can be a new concept? A lot of people just don't decide that they're complete with the pain. They just keep letting it rage. You have to be just done with it. And you also can be done with the pain before it gets to be DEFCON pain, of where it's so deep and so hurtful and so traumatic. So I'm complete with this pain. Here's a different word. I command it. And so command is a power word that has been left out of the English language. Mostly because it's a power word. And why do you guys think that, whatever, if it's 95% of the people that are struggling, that only 5% of the people have the money in the world? Because they command it. When you start commanding things, that's when everything changes. So command is the opposite of control as well. So command this issue released on all levels from its origin. So meaning the origin. So you guys, this is why this is such a powerful process, is because the word origin means that where it started. It's not the root of the problem. Every tree has roots, and a lot of those trees have replication and have they're either started by cutting off a branch and replanting it, or grafting it on another tree, or it's from a seed. I'm talking about however the first tree showed up. That's what I'm talking about. That far back. And so if you go to the origin where the pain started, you guys don't understand how much we're holding in our DNA, in our lineage, that we're suffering from things that we're holding, like from our family. There are so many things that we're holding that we don't even realize. And I'm not talking about the things that determine your hair or your eye color, but how you hold your weight, your body. You know, you might be the only one in your family that's holding on to some unneeded weight, and everybody else is super skinny, and you just can't figure out why. And you eat salad, and you take these diet pills, and you're super healthy, and you go to the doctor or X, Y, and Z, everything, but you can't release that weight. Sometimes it's from an unwanted situation of where one of your grandmothers or grandfathers uh, had been, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It could be from a molestation. It could be from an encroachment, an unwanted need to protect. We hold that stuff. We hold that pain in our gut. We don't realize it. So this is where we're releasing it from the origin of that. And so when you think about your family, right? Like those that have passed on before us are looking down. They don't want us to hold this anywhere. You know, if you're holding something in the DNA, some information that it's not safe, so I need to be heavy. If you're able to release something at the origin, some of this stuff isn't even yours, but you're responsible for releasing this pain. So if you guys want to write this process down in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can go ahead and do that as well. And so I command the experience to my library. So I command this experience to my library. So I command this experience to my library. And so this goes back to how all wars are won. You divide and conquer. How do you conquer anything? You divide it. You cause that division. How do you conquer pizza? How do you conquer a pizza? 8 slices over, you eat 3, somebody else eats 5, somebody else eats 2, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point of it is it's conquered. And so if you say, I command this experience to my library, you're saying, I'm the king of my being, my existence, and I put this in my library, meaning away from me. I pulled this from my cellular memory. I command this experience to my library. So when you go to your library, it doesn't mean that you can't, that you don't, or you release something to your library. It doesn't mean that you forget that the experience happened. It's that you're separating it from yourselves. So separation and division is a good thing when you're pulling something from yourself. And that's what this is. This process does. So, and then I command the download of the opposite. So let's just say in general that you do not feel free, that you feel enslaved, stuck, whatever it is. So the polar opposite of that, I command the download of this, meaning the feeling of freedom. I command the download of the feeling of freedom. So the opposite of it. So we're saying that this one book of crap, whatever it is, this pain, you're putting that in the library, but you're checking something else new out, but you're downloading it. And so that's where you get into the quantum level. I'm downloading that. So when you go into that level by saying, I command the download of this, it's the same level that anybody who's ever done anything great in their lives. Edison, Tesla, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, whomever. Anybody that's ever attained any great heights, they've reached for that download. And sometimes we download crap. We use the same quantum physics to have garbage, because what we do is we think about the experience that happened, we stew on it, we're angry about it, we hold on to it, and then what happens is it assembles of this book of that I was victimized here, this happened, I'm always hurt, people do this, this, and this to me, life isn't fair, all that. I don't get a promotion because, I don't have friends because. We attract those things to ourselves magnetically. And so when you command the download, you're getting it all. You're getting all the universe has to offer, what it is to feel free. And this is super, super important. It says, so if you guys were on the training last week, when I said, make the declaration, it's, and so I am that. So it's so I am freedom. If you are freedom, then you are what you say you are. I am freedom. And in the English language, it sounds a little wonky. But I've used applied kinesiology and muscle testing to get through this whole release process to make sure that it was stated right. So it may sound wonky, but so I am that. So I am freedom. And so if you've been through 3 horrible relationships, then you go through this process, and I command that the download of having a great marriage with an amazing person. And so I am someone who has a great marriage with a great person. And so if you are that, and you are what you say you are, then it happens. Think about this. Rap music is a real good example of manifestation by saying what you are. I got money, I got girls. I got money, I got girls. Repeated over and over. Thought about all the time. I want to get out of my current situation. You know, if they came from a hood or whatever that is. But the point of it is, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. I am this. I'm rich, I got money, I got whatever. What happens? Regardless if you like rap music or not. So what, 95% of the population might not like it, but the 5%, they're buying it. Doesn't matter if you see any talent or not, doesn't matter. They said it, therefore they're creators. And so this is the thing. If you want to create anything, you say that you are that, or you're experiencing this thing. And so it is. So this is your stamp. And so it is. So now if I had one of you guys in front of me, I'd be able to muscle test you. And if we were in a normal type of seminar, I'd be able to have you guys go through this process, release your pain about something in your body. If you held your arm out, I would be able to hold onto your arm. And if you said at first, I'm in this pain, I have the pain of being stuck. And then we muscle tested. You're stuck, yes. After we went through this process, I'd be able to muscle test you, and what have you say, I'm stuck. And your body would go, nope. And so what happens is when you release that, You no longer feel stuck. And therefore, here's how to know that this process works, or any process that works, depending on, I know a lot of you guys have all kinds of different training, on mindset. Maybe some of you are kinesiologists. And so here's how to know that it's changing things, is that you're going to do this process and you're going to feel a little bit better. And then you're going to notice that certain things change just a little bit. Let's say you always keep a messy desk. You'll notice that, well, I don't want to have this messy desk anymore. So you just pick it up. It takes less than 30 seconds, but you spend the time doing that. And the truth is how you do anything is how you do everything. So when you understand that you're really, really changing, is when you start to notice the little changes, and then you notice the little changes add up to bigger changes and bigger changes and bigger changes. So it starts with 30 seconds cleaning up the desk because you spent the 30 seconds using this process of cleaning up the head. And then you'll use this process to clean up things about your relationship, things you don't like about yourself. And so I would suggest to use this method when you're pointing the finger at somebody else about however they're acting, because people are normally they're a reflection of you. So if you say somebody always does this, you always do that. If you're saying that to your spouse, you point the finger. How many fingers do you have pointing back at you? 3, maybe 4? That trigger finger. We have that trigger finger going. It's you. But the truth is, it's something in us that could heal. And the truth is when you take care of your triggers this way, pain that you're feeling this way, then you'll start to feel that pain less when somebody starts doing the same thing in front of you. You just won't be triggered. And so there have been so many times when I've seen people triggered, and a lot of it's on social media because it's just rampant. But the point of it is, I also divide and conquer that. I said, do I have that pain? And if I don't, then that's theirs. And so when I divide and conquer that, that's their pain. That's what they can have. So, and if I see it in me, then it's something to deal with. And even if it's just the little, just a little tiny bit of an issue. So I own this pain. I'm responsible for this, releasing this pain. I am complete with this pain. I command it released on all levels from its origin. I command the experience to my library, out of the body, out of the cellular memory, and I command the download of the opposite. And so I am the opposite, and so it is. So stamp of approval, and so it is. It's your proclamation. It's your declaration. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 4 times. 4 times thank you. Part of the thing is why it is 4 times. And don't worry about it if you don't say it 4 times. Say it 10 times. It doesn't matter. But say it at least 4 times, because that's part of the secret sauce. Is because when we get to numbers, as far as when you're using that quantum magnetics, is when you're using odd numbers, there's a contraction, meaning a minus. Doesn't mean you can't add odd numbers up. That's not my point. Because you can add 2, you can add 3 and 3, and it's 6, and it ends up, being an even number. My point of it is for some reason, and I muscle tested this over and over and over again, is that saying thank you 4 times helps expand the experience of the download of the whatever it is, freedom, whatever it is that you want. And so I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give you guys, here, I'll play this. I'm going to give you guys like, okay, like 5 minutes. Okay. So write your 3 biggest pains down right now. Okay. You don't have to put it in the chat. This can be personal to you. And all I want you to do, and you can take your camera off or whatever, but I just want you guys to go, and you don't have to yell it loud. You can just do it in your head. You can say it out loud if you choose, but I want you guys to go through this process. And after you go through the process on those 3 things, I'm going to muscle test. And I may get something called the divining rods out and show you on a physical way how you've changed. But I'll muscle test, which is applied kinesiology, which is I will show you how it released in your system. So you got 4 minutes now, or just under 4 minutes, and write those 3 pains down. Write the 3 things that are bothering you. And if you don't know what those are, you can finish the sentence by everything, or this thing always happens to me. Or no matter what, I can't get over X, whatever that is. Or my deepest secret is whatever that pain is. My deepest hurt is, and so that could be one of your 3 pains. But here's 3 minutes, and you can do each one of those situations in probably less than a minute. So when I say help me out, I mean help you out on this. So in some of you, I can actually see you guys going through the process because you got your cameras still on. I can see you got scrolling through that process. It's awesome. Rob put that in the chat. So if anybody's having an issue with their notes. Somebody put the fear of not being liked. You guys understand this is that when you send something to me privately, I won't say your name. So-and-so shared this. So if you want to share something that's deep that you don't want to share with everybody, that's fine. Just message me privately. So we got like a minute 10. Okay. So you have the chance to go through one other challenge. One other issue, one last issue. Use the process. Now, those of you that have seen me on stage, or you've been to some of my events, or even if you've been in my coaching classes, this is a completely new, different, and complete process than I've probably shared before with you guys. And so, but it's okay. Uh, this is just, it releases it on the deepest quantum level. Okay. And I'm going to stop the screen share. Okay. Does somebody, this takes a big person, because very few of us have met each other in person. A lot of these people are from all over the United States. And so ask yourself this: am I willing to step up? Help me out here. I just need one person to step up. This is not, by the way, not the person I'm going to pick. I'm just going to, I need you to step up with your 3 things that you went through, or if you went through 2 of them. And everybody type in the chat. I went through, just type in, you went through 1, 2, 3, or 0. How many things were you ready to release? The awesome thing, if I get enough people, I'm going to, Mel, can you find my rods? Okay. I'm going to see if I can bring my divining rods in. And so most people, okay, somebody did it too. And so put a 0 down if you didn't do it. It's okay, because if I know that you didn't do it, then I can find out actually the word that you need to use, so you will actually follow through with things. Awesome. Thank you. My wife is kind of like my, like I'm the magician and she's like the assistant. What's that? I said assistant. She said gopher. Wow. Somebody released something really powerful. I just, somebody had, I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody's released the trauma of their twin's death. That's really, really, really strong. Okay. Somebody went through 2 things. And so here's the thing, you guys, just because, it doesn't, in the future, say tomorrow you wake up angry. This is kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid. What we're doing here when you do this process is that something else may come up. And it could be, if you're working on not being free, it could be something around a frustration around freedom, but it could be a different type of frustration. It could be a frustration with, let's just say the origin is your mother not letting you free, not setting you free, always wanting to smother you, or that kind of thing, you know? So watch out what you're talking about the origin, but watch out, because it could be the origin of your pain about work. And that may not lead back to mom. So the thing is this is a tool, right? This release process is a tool. And so if you don't have to put a nail in the wall, then there's no need to grab a hammer. But if you have a reason, then you go to this toolbox. And for some of you have never even gotten into necessarily the deepest part of personal development like this. And so you got a lot of work to do. So, okay. So let me see. Okay. So when you're responding, is somebody who is willing to go through, unmute their mic and go through with what their 3 issues were, their 2 issues were, or whatever. So just type in the chat, I'm willing. Okay. So, okay. Early bird gets the worm. So, okay. So, Tony, can you unmute your mic? If not, I'll unmute it. I'll unmute you. There we go. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Okay.
Okay, great.
So, Tony, what was your first issue?
Well, I kind of went through a few of them, but I
Okay.
think let's see, I think the fear of not being successful.
Okay.
That's something you know,
Okay. So you went through this process, and did you say, and therefore I have the download of what it feels like to be successful?
okay, so I guess I missed that part because my Zoom has been going in and out. So I actually didn't follow these steps, but I will on each
Okay.
one of these things.
Okay. I tell you what,
So
I'm going to
maybe
go
I'm
ahead
not
and
the best person.
no problem. No problem. I tell you what, Robert did this here. Robert, and I'm going to drop this back in the chat. Robert actually was very studious and went through this. So, okay. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to okay. Everyone. Okay. So did you guys get that when I posted it or no? Everyone. Did you guys get that? Okay. So who wants to step up? You don't have to be if it's that personal, you guys. You don't have to share the depth of it, but if you want to just, I worked on self-confidence, whatever it is. But I'm just looking for somebody else to step up that went through this process, because I can show you the difference in your being right now. So, okay, Chris.
Okay. Hi, Alan.
Hey. Hi.
Hi. So I went through the process. My deepest pain is not having a good, solid romantic relationship.
Okay. And then you replaced it with the download of having a great, solid relationship?
Yes, I did.
Loving, romantic, all the things that you ever wanted?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the interesting thing. So did I stop the screen share? I think I did. Chris, do you see just me, not the screen?
I see you.
Okay, great. Okay. So I use something called applied kinesiology, which is also called muscle testing, which is it's basically the body's way to give you a yes or no answer by the strength of your muscles. And so I used one method. It's just basically holding. Some of you have either been in my class or you've seen me use it, but you see me work with my hands a lot. So the A-OK sign, right? And then if I'm able to push my thumb through, that's a no. So when I say no, I can actually get a no answer. So if I have permission to work with Chris, which she's going to give me permission, I can be able to test whether we have a yes or a no. And so and when I go through and say yes, or I'll get a yes, the point of where my two fingers join will not let me get through. This is strong like an ox. When I say yes, I'm able to get that answer. And when I say no, and so it doesn't matter if I think yes or think no when I'm working with somebody else, meaning I'm going to ask this question. So before, and this is the awesome thing about time. Like time, our concept of time and the quantum level of time are two different things. We can tap back and forth all we want. So we're going to tap back to an hour ago. And I'm going to say that Chris can have an awesome, loving relationship. And it says no. My fingers go right through. And so I'm using the same, this is not trickery or anything like that. I'm using the same thing, same force to ask this question. And so I've been muscle testing like 10 years, so I can ask this question. By the way, approximately 35% of the top execs in the Fortune, in the top 100 Fortune 500 companies, like their CEOs, use muscle testing when they're making decisions about acquisitions or hiring or firing or anything. And so you wonder how those guys get that high on the level, is because they do have some secrets and they aren't sharing. And so I'm sharing this with you guys now to prove my point. Is so Chris went through that release process, and I say right now in the current time that Chris can have a wonderful, loving relationship. And it says, yes, 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 you can. So Chris, I actually know Chris is she's a chiropractor, if you don't mind me saying, and you do muscle testing as well?
I do. And actually, I have had ambiguous results in the past when I did muscle testing on myself, not with my patients, but with myself, because there is, if I'm muscle testing for something that I want,
yeah,
sometimes my muscle testing is off.
okay.
What I haven't found for myself is that when I use my body as a pendulum, it's a little bit more reliable.
More reliable. Okay, so why don't you do that and say I can have tap yourself back an hour and say I can have a wonderful, awesome, loving relationship.
I can have a wonderful, awesome, loving relationship. No.
Yeah. Okay, now tap yourself to the current time and place and say I can have a wonderful, awesome, loving relationship.
I can have a wonderful, awesome, loving relationship. Yes.
Okay. Here's the case. Now I'm going to show you guys how this works with the rods too, but to show you further. So Chris, here's the thing. If you take your wants, like how many times in life have you guys, type in the chat. This is a question for everybody. How many times in life have you gotten what you wanted? Have you been more disappointed than getting what you wanted? Meaning, I wanted a red Mustang when I was 18. I didn't get it. I wanted a good relationship. I didn't get it. I wanted a great career and I didn't get it. Like, type in the chat. Have you been more? Yeah, a few times, yes. And it was disappointing. People can't count it all. Yeah, nobody can count the times that they're disappointments, that they didn't get what they wanted. This is good. Nancy gets what she wants about half of the time. Here's the interesting thing. So that's something that's cemented with Nancy. That's something that she believes in. That's something she says. That's something that she thinks about. So, and here's how powerful Nancy is. If she changed that, I get what I want 99% of the time, because she already has the programming that she gets half of what she wants. And so I'm going to share one massive secret with you guys, because it came up. And the shift that you need to make with your want is make it a need. And all needs are met in this life. Make it a need. I need that relationship. You see the difference between, you're using a word. Want is not a power word. Need is a power word. Does a plant want water? Does a plant want nutrients? Does a plant want sunshine? No. plant is, and it needs all those things. Therefore, all those things are provided. By level of our environment. So if we thought of ourselves as plants and took care of ourselves that same way, wouldn't that be amazing? So I need this. And so Nancy says, I need financial abundance. So I need it. She's using the right language already. So say, I need it rather than I want it. No, I want this. You know, I want a red Mustang. Then you go on the car lot, and because it wasn't a need, the salesman has the opportunity to manipulate you into buying something you didn't show up for, you didn't want, or you didn't really need that. You weren't set on, that's a need. Why is red Mustang a need? Because I need it. Who cares? I'm throwing a fit because I'm a 12-year-old. I just want this. Because I want a red Mustang at 40 because I didn't get it at 20. You have a need for it. And then you'll end up getting something, I got something sensible because it's $250 a month, and you know, my insurance won't be that high and all this other stuff. I get all those things. But sometimes you go for something that you want and you get what you need. Is that old Rolling Stone song? Can't always get what you want.
Alan, can I ask
Yes.
you a question about that?
Yes.
On a previous training with another person, I was told that the word need is a word of low vibration. And you are saying exactly the opposite.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay, just so you muscle test. I just want you to muscle test that as well. Here's the thing: is need. The word need can be polluted by our language, meaning like they don't need that. Those rich people over there, they don't need that. They don't need that. You know, why do they need to run a company? Why do they need to pay no taxes? So if he's talking about, you know, there are some words that get polluted, but the word want is the most polluted. And by the way, when somebody says something like that may, you know, you have a question about that, ask if when you really, really needed something, did your needs get met? Man, I really need to eat. Man, I really need to get gas. Man, I really need this. And I'm not talking about being needy, like in a relationship of where, you know, you have to have somebody in your life, because that's kind of word pollution as well. I just need somebody. I just need somebody to love me. Not that, not out of desperation. When you use the word need out of a deep desire, out of saying this is water, that's high vibrational. And so let me tell you, is there are a lot of gurus out there, and I followed tons of them. And until then, when I started muscle testing, then I started to figure out, well, not everything that they said was true. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean that they don't have valuable information. I'm not slamming them there. Like, you can go to a Tony Robbins seminar and you can have a great time, and you can, you know, raise your hands in the air and you can dance all weekend and have a great time, and you can walk on coals and you can cry and you can meet some amazing people and connect and all that. But what happens when the high is gone? I went to a seminar called Psi, which is similar to Landmark, which is also similar to EST. They're kind of all offshoots of each other, personal development. We used to call her Psi High. And so, man, you could be flying high for 6 weeks, and then real life kicks in, and you get back to your same old programming. And so the key is sometimes what you're being taught is not enough to deal with your programming. is not enough to deal with your pain, is not enough to deal with your environment. If you release your pain and use this process to help reprogram yourself, then you can easily change your environment because you're raising your vibration. And so you guys, the most valuable skill that I have is applied kinesiology. And I can't go into it that much. And one of these times, one of these next trainings I'm going to do is I'll just do a quick training on applied kinesiology, muscle testing. So you guys can use that to find out if something is actually true. Could be true, false, or just true for you, which means it's not really true. One of my mentors says, it's either truth is not belief. Truth is just truth. Truth just is. So just because you believe it doesn't have to be true. So he also said that there is the truth and then there is everything else. Like brass tacks, when you get down to the truth, there can be all kinds of, you can lie with statistics, you can go ahead and pollute something that may be true. You can paint with broad brushes, all that stuff, and that just adds the confusion. But that's why I talk about the magic word is origin on this. Let's go back to the origin and heal this, wherever the origin is. If it's in my bloodline, you guys want to believe there's past lives, that's okay. And the word origin will take care of that. And so I didn't realize that we were holding so much cellular baggage of our own personal garbage until probably 10, 12 years ago, of when I ran into my mentors that were chiropractors who used applied kinesiology, who showed me what I was holding and why I was holding it. So when they muscle tested me. So I'm going to show you guys one thing, and I rarely show people this, but it kind of, because some people can kind of freak out. And I just want to just show you how simple this is. But these things, I call them divining rods, but they're basically just old school radio antennas with a little handle on it and with a little swivel. American Indians have used sticks to do the same kind of concept, which is, this is another part of applied kinesiology, which is like you can actually find water. You can use two sticks to find water. You can use a coat hanger to do this. And so here's the thing. If I hold this is not magic or anything like this. This is just us tapping into the quantum level. And I'll show you guys this. And I'm showing you this is partly because I can't muscle test you guys and give everybody a good enough representation of how this is working. So I'm going to show you on this level. So with Chris, and I'm going to use this rod and I'm going to say, give me a yes. Okay. And here, hold on just a second. Okay. Now I'm not on mute. Okay. Anyway, it's interesting that somebody put in the chat, you are mute, Alan. and that's been the theme of this past week, is that I had been so quiet and I had been mute, and I wasn't unleashing my highest and best for the planet and humanity, and for myself and for my family. So anyway, I won't stay muted long, I'll tell you that. Anyway, let's get back to the rods. So when I say, give me a yes, the rods will go to the right. You can use this for water, finding water, but you can also use this for being able to test or tell truth. And so I may do a course on this, class on this in a couple weeks. So I'll hold this straight and I'll say, give me a no. And you guys see, like, I'm not manipulating it at all. It just kind of goes. So it just kind of goes with our thoughts. So Chris and I are connected, and Chris, it's okay for me to work with you, correct? Yes. So so if we could say, Chris we'll tap Chris back an hour ago, and Chris can have an amazing relationship. Okay. Chris can have a loving relationship. No. Okay. So current time and place, because you did the process and you released it on a cellular basis. So current time and place, Chris can have a great relationship. Okay. It's going towards yes. Chris can have a great relationship. Again, yes. So there's nothing crazy about this. You guys can go ahead if you want, and after this, go get yourselves a coat hanger. Go ahead and break a piece off or cut a piece off and just bend it more like a L with the longer area on top, and just kind of bend it about the hand's length. Then you hold it in your hand. You can actually use two of them. I have two of them. Actually, I have two of them here, but the whole thing, and you can ask yourself questions and they'll cross. And so the thing is now, Chris, one thing the gurus will tell you is they'll say, now what you do is after you think of what you want, then you just throw that out into the universe. You just put that out into the universe and you just let it go. You release it. And so it's kind of misleading. And I'll tell you, it's misleading because of this. 24/7, even if you want a relationship and you're obsessing about a great relationship, is there a point when you do let it go? Yeah. You let it go before you go to bed. You let it go through your sleep. You let it go when you're driving, when you're focused on something else. So I find it, and I muscle test, I'll do this. I'll just bring it up, but I muscle test that when you're releasing things, you know, when you have to do complete release or else it won't work. That's a no. You don't have to just, you can obsess. It's better to obsess on it. It's better to picture it. Last time we had our training is I showed you guys that think, picture, feel, act slide. So think about that relationship that you need. Picture it. Feel it. Act. When you feel it's right to join whatever dating site it is, or go out to whatever club when they decide they're going to go ahead and let us out to the bars or social clubs or events, that's when the magic comes in. Or that's when an old friend will ping you on Facebook and, you know, something may happen. But you say the whole thing, like talk to you got to be, Chris, you got to be your own best friend on that. You got to say, I am awesome. I am lovable. I'm desirable, you know, who wouldn't want to be with me? An open-ended question, you know, like who wouldn't want this? Who wouldn't want a woman that who's strong, that's their everything together, you know? I mean, it doesn't take a long time to look around, you can see plenty of couples together and seem perfectly happy. They can be both ripped and, you know, 30 years old and at the gym rats and, you know, drinking their protein shakes, and then, you know, they can be 500 pounds. It doesn't matter. It's because they had a need for a relationship. And so, Chris, when you get a chance, you know, like work on that word need, you know, and think about this. You can use the process for the word need, meaning like, I release my judgment around the word want. I release my experiences around the word want. And then I command the download of the word need. So, some deep ancestor clearing to get to clear that pathway. Yeah. But just go to the origin. And you guys that do muscle testing already, you don't have to, you know, muscle test it back 20 generations to, you know, to mom's side, you know, in Croatia, you know, in 1574. You don't have to do that. You can just go to the origin. God gives us that opportunity. So there we go. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to we're going to do some one-on-one work, then we're going to do a little Q&A. So hopefully you guys can stay. I didn't plan on this lasting this long, but I got to remember, you guys that do do keynotes or presentations, just remember like 5 slides is just enough. And so I have 11 here, and that's kind of why I see that we've gone over the time. So you guys, I just want you to help me out here, and I need your help on this. Is just give me a reason why that I should just pick you out of the people that are showed up today, as far as why I should pick you and what you're dealing with. You can message me privately if it's too private, and I don't have to. We can kind of be vague about it. The most important thing is that whomever I'm going to work with is we are going to connect on that level of where I don't need to know all the details of whatever pain you're dealing with. I just need to have access to it. So just think thoughtfully. Like if I could work on one thing, what would I work on? And I'll work one-on-one with you. And so this is a different process that I'm going to do, rather than the quantum, or than the Zen Again release process, the peace process. Still massively as successful. The difference is that it's not a one-on-one kind of process. It's not a singular process where you only use it with yourself. So just type in the chat. It can be long, it can be short, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, I want you to pick me because I'm dealing with this, and this. This has troubled me for so long, and I want to release this. So just go ahead and keep on typing in the chat, and we're just going to go ahead and let the clock run down. And so some of you may not know. That's why we're giving you 5 minutes, is because some of you might not know exactly what it is that you're struggling with. I want it to be that one thing that you just want to get over so bad. That one thing. Because the things that we're going to go through are going to be the things that I'm going to have you take notes on and actually focus on in this training. And when I ask you that you come back and tell me how it's going in 30 days. I want you to focus on releasing these challenges. And the important thing is why I say 30 days, because it takes 30 days to, it's actually between 4 and 6 weeks, but to drop a bad habit and create a new habit. And so how do you get good at anything past the age of 7, past the formative years? It's scientifically proven that how you get good at anything is repetition. You're no longer in that theta brainwave all the time of where you're just constantly creating. Of where when you're little, when you're flying a plane, an airplane, a paper plane, you believe that you're on that paper plane. You believe that you can fly. That's why you'll jump off your play set, because you believe you can fly. That's why you'll put the cape on, because you believe that you could fly. Gravity didn't believe that you could fly. And that's the problem. But after age 7, it's about repetition. So my point of it is we're going to work on something, and then I'm going to give you a little magic pill so you work on it every day for 30 days, and we'll check back in 30 days and see how things have changed. So and so knowing applied kinesiology, muscle testing, is also part of the process that I'll go ahead and choose somebody. I'm just going to scan through you guys real quick, and I'll find out who's really, really the energy and frequency of who really, really needs the help. So, okay. So I'm going to X out of this. And then, okay. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So somebody is talking about things that they do are valuable. There's a blockage that has to do with being valuable. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these. So somebody also asked what work will you do if with whomever I choose? This is just going to be one session right now in front of God and everybody. And after that, we'll just check in like 30 days. So it's not going to be a session after session after session. So I'm just going to give you the magic potion. I'm going to just check with you how you followed through with it. And then, so, okay. Okay. Here's the thing. A lot of people are dealing with financial situations and abundance. And actually there's also something about being valued or valuable. Just seeing, I'm looking at the common threads, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a group meditation at the end to go ahead and relate some of this stuff. I'm going to look at everybody that's still on the call. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Okay. Highest and best is Joshelle. Okay, so I'm going to unmute your mic, and so you can unmute yours. Yep, there we go. Just in case we didn't get it that time. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so you're talking about your value is being valued, and you realize that you weren't valued in one of your professions, correct?
Yeah, a while ago you had talked to me and told me that you thought that I'm trying to remember the wording you had, but that the services that I rendered weren't, I was never getting I would offer them for free because I didn't value it. And so others didn't. I mean, when I did my medical work, I was bombarded with clients because their insurance covered it. And I thought, well, now that I'm doing other work that requires marketing, I'm not used to it. And I figured, well, I never had this problem before because I always had plenty of clients. And then I realized when I switched in the medical work to try and go outside of insurance, I had the exact same problem. So it's tied in, I think, to the value that I'm giving, that I just seem to think on some level that unless it's being paid for by someone else, that people just won't find it worthwhile.
Okay, so write down 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so write down these 4 points, and I'm going to give it to you, and then we're going to go through it. Okay.
Okay.
So the one coming up, okay, is okay. One is okay. It's how you see yourself, but it's also it's how you see yourself, but it's like it's judging yourself as something else. It's like I saw myself as valuable before because I did this, and now because I'm doing this, I don't see myself as value. So it's how you see yourself, but it's going to get a little bit deeper than that. But anyway, just generally put that how you see yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So how you see yourself. Okay. Okay. So number 2 is how you see others in the same profession, meaning, okay. So if you're doing financial work and you saw yourself as a doctor before, and you put yourself in financial work, and if you see how like people's savings are being stolen, people are being ripped off and all that other stuff, but you're saying like, I'm not that person, but you're in the same pool. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you're in a pool with, let's just say there's a convention of you who's benevolent, who wants to help somebody, who desires to help somebody. And then there's 30 other people at this convention that don't care. You know, they're fat cats, they're smoking cigars, they're peeing in the pool. You know what I mean? And like you're in that pool with them because, you know, you're going to this convention with them because that's what they are, not what you are. So you're judging yourself by what others are.
Okay.
And then okay, 3 is I don't believe in the knowledge the knowledge that I have is enough. Now, could be subconscious, because when I say some things like this, people say, well, wait, I went to school for 20 years. Of course I know everything. Of course I'm knowledgeable. It's not that. It's a subconscious thing. And so put subconscious on that. So a subconscious that I don't believe that I have the knowledge to deliver.
Okay.
And therefore, it's almost like a body billboard that's saying, like, I really wish you would pick me because I'm a really good person and I can do great things, but you know, I still am not quite confident. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really, I can ride a bike, but I don't know how long I can ride it.
Okay.
So there's that. So
yeah, it resonates.
So, and are we up to 4?
Not yet.
Are we going?
You're
okay,
about
so,
to.
Okay, so we're getting to 4. And so, 4. Okay. So are you talking about money? Is you talking about your financial thing, or your financial advice, that kind of thing, selling financial advice, or money managing, that kind of thing?
That's a big part, but any aspect. I've got several things that are stagnant.
Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. With money, your deal with money has to do with, a lot of this is subconscious, and a lot of it is with, like, it's just been some things that are passed down, but it's also the programming that we have about money. And a lot of us have this, and we're going to go through this, but part of it is, it's similar to the last issue but it's like of how, if you're involved in making money, in helping people make money, then we're involved in some sort of like evil demonic thing, meaning like the monetary system is so gross, and there's so much greed, and you know, Wall Street banks and all this other stuff, and bailouts for them and nothing for anybody else. I mean, just whatever you've heard, but it's like many layers. And it's like, if I would say, if it's something like, to give it to how far we got to chip through to get this is like, like 73 reams of paper, meaning like that kind of strength. It's like, if you wanted to karate chop it, you just couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't stand on the moon and land on that pile karate chopping and get through it. And so, but it's, and a lot of us have that. So, okay. So first issue, let's go back to the first issue.
Okay.
You know, what's the first issue? Remind me, please.
Oh, seeing that others will see value in what I do enough to actually find it worthwhile to pay for.
To invest. Okay. Now what did I write? What did I tell you to write? Where the issue was?
Sorry. How I see myself.
How you see yourself. Okay. So, okay. So just close your eyes. I'm going to tap you back to the origin of how you see yourself and where that is, and what is has been created because of how you see yourself. And so you haven't been seeing yourself through your eyes, but you've been seeing yourself through other people's eyes. And so there's a lot of judgment involved in that. There's a lot of programming in that. There's a lot of looking in the mirror and seeing certain failures and then adding that up. So that's part of these 73 stacks of paper. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and compress those stacks into a book. Say, we're going to command that book to your library. We're going to command the download of what it feels, what you think, how you act, all of the parts of seeing yourself how you really are. And so at the same time, conscious, we're going to go ahead and rewrite the program of this experience.
Okay.
It's highest and best. And so it is. Okay. So there's that one. Okay. So 2, what's number 2?
How I see others in the same profession.
How you see others in the, okay. So this is that whole thing of how you see people that maybe like sleazy, that kind of thing, or just polluting the pool, you know. And so so this is about also like getting over objections, how you see others. And so you don't see yourself as a lighthouse, even though that's what you are. So you have to put yourself vibrationally higher than that. So let's go ahead and just tap back to where you decided to, the origin of where your light, you gave away your light, and of where you just kind of had to be in the same pool with those types of people rather than raise your vibration to get around that. Okay, so we're going to take you back to that timeline, and then we're going to go ahead and come to the current time and place.
Do I have to be seeing this timeline?
No.
Okay.
No, this is just is when we talk about the origin, we're just taking the origin, and then we're coming to this timeline here, and to the current time and place, and we're taking ownership that the experience happened, that you know what it's like to have to either be scared or to put out your own light or not shine your own light. But the truth is if you're so bright, then everybody can see you. And so, and that has to do with being small and those kinds of things, of thinking we're small or thinking that we're less than, or, you know, you've gone through doctor's training of where, and you think, you know, there's something in your head of where you think the financial planning or something may be a step in the right direction, but there may be a status issue with that as far as stepping down. So let's put that in your library and then consciously rewrite what it is to shine the light. And so we're going to rewrite this in your subconscious, reprogram it. Okay. Done. 1, 2. We need to wait 3 seconds, let that process. Okay. So 3, what's number 3? We wrote down it.
Don't believe the knowledge I have is enough to deliver. Subconscious level.
Okay, so subconscious level, yes, that's true. Okay, so and we say Joshelle can deliver. It says no. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just tap you back. What it says is that tap into the superconscious of knowing, of your knowing, and so we're gonna go to the origin of where you started to lose your knowing, getting amnesia because you get knocked around in life. And then we come to the current time and place where we've created a new path of knowing in your brain, in your subconscious. And so subconscious will rewrite that from the origin until now. Okay. We need 5 more seconds to let that reprogram itself. Okay. Issue 4.
Subconscious attitudes about money.
Okay, subconscious attitudes about money. That if you're, this is that money is evil. If I have money, then people get hurt, or if I have money, then I may be a different person than I am. The lack of, I believe, the lack of that bad people have money, and if I'm a good person, I shouldn't have money, or
responsibilities tied in with it.
Responsibility is a massive thing. So if I don't have money, then I can't do X, meaning I can't raise my kid, I can't do my business. If I don't have money, then I can't pay the light bill, if I don't have.
But what if you
And
do
so,
have? And that's a
well,
responsibility too.
well, if you do, yeah. Well, if you do have money, yeah. And so it's like, so check this. So you just said that, and I'm going to say, so if I have money, then I have to be like 10 times more responsible, meaning like I'm responsible for a lot more. A lot more money means a lot more, more money, more problems. I would never listen to that song again if I were you. Like when that comes on the radio,
It's a fun song.
yeah, it's a fun, yeah, you're right. The problem is so that's part of programming. That's just as bad as listening to your teacher going, I was rich once. And the richer I got, the more problems I had. And so the whole thing is it's the responsibility of taking care of that money, of having to do with that. And then it's like, wait, if I have money, then my kid may be spoiled, and if my kid's spoiled, then they might not appreciate things. If they don't appreciate things, then they may not turn out to be what I expected them to be, that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of things that are in our brains that go left and right and all that. So, okay. This is kind of a cool thing. So if all of you, or any of you can resonate with anything that we're talking about with just Joshelle on this call, go ahead and tap your heart, because you could tap into this work as well. So tap in if you choose. If you don't relate, that's okay. No big deal. I'm saying just tap in, because this can be, you can receive this knowledge as well. So, okay, so we're going to tap you back to the responsibilities of money and the negative experiences about having these responsibilities. And then superconscious, we're going to go rewrite that program from the very beginning of the feeling, acting, thinking that the responsibilities of having money can be a good thing. Be great responsibilities. We can create a great life for ourselves, great life for our families, for our friends, for our legacy, for our kids. There's a Ford Foundation for a reason, and it's because they've earned enough wealth so they can promote their causes. None of us can do that without our wealth. So, okay, so interesting. I'm going to grab the rods again. So, and this is how we're going to be able to do this. So, Joshelle, say the first thing in a sentence. So, the first issue that we went through.
How I see myself.
Okay, so if we say Joshelle sees herself in a bad light, that's current time place. If we go or a challenge light or that kind of thing. So if we say that, if we go 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes, let's go 30 minutes ago, Joshelle sees herself in a different light than she really is. So current time place, Joshelle knows herself, has a deeper knowing of herself. Okay. 5 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, Joshelle sees herself in a or has a 30 minutes ago, she has a conflict of knowing. Yeah. Current time place, or I mean, no, I'm sorry. No. Okay. 5 minutes ago, conflict of knowing. Okay. It's not a conflict of knowing. It's more like, it was more like polluted knowing. Current time place, Joshelle has her knowing is polluted. It's no. So we went through 2, right? Or do we go through 2?
2 with the rod?
Yeah, with the rod. Or did we not do the second one with the rod?
Okay. How I see the others in the profession was the second one.
Okay, so
that's what you're asking.
So okay, so how Joshelle sees others in the profession matters to her business, her current business. Okay, now we go back half hour. How Joshelle sees others in her business matters. Yeah, current time and place. How Joshelle sees herself in business with others doesn't matter. Okay, so 3. What's 3 again? Normally I have this written down in front of me, but that's why I'm relying on you.
But I don't believe the knowledge I have is enough to deliver.
Okay, current time and place. The knowledge Joshelle has is enough to deliver. Okay, okay. Half hour ago, the knowledge Joshelle has is enough to deliver. It's no. Okay. So, and then current time and place, what else do we got? What's the last one?
Subconscious attitudes about money.
Okay. So, Joshelle is a current time and place. Joshelle is abundant. Her subconscious is rewritten to attract abundance. Okay. She has a better subconscious belief about abundance. A half hour ago, Joshelle has a great subconscious belief about money. Likes to be involved in the process of money. Sees the value of being involved with money. No. It's more like feels the pain in being involved with money. Current time, place, Joshelle feels the pain of being involved with money. No. Current time, place, subconscious, money is awesome. Okay. Well, okay, that's not the right word. So subconscious belief, okay, subconscious belief is I can create what I want with money, my money. A half hour ago, it's like I can create what Joshelle can create what she wants with money. No, it's more like just money is evil. Money is evil? No, it's not evil. Money is evil? No, it's more like money is gross. Half hour. Current time, place. Joshelle thinks money is gross. Okay, good. No. So okay, do we get 4 or no?
Yeah, that was the 4th one.
Okay, I apologize, you guys, because I didn't even have breakfast this morning, so I'm kind of just like, spacing out a little bit. But anyway, so there we go. And okay, so I'm gonna bring up the slide deck, and I have like just a couple more. So I appreciate you guys hanging out for as long as you have, and you guys are going to get massive value out of this. Again, I showed you guys this process so you can, can help other people that are struggling with things. And so that simple process, I own this pain. I'm responsible for releasing this pain. I'm complete with this pain. I command it released on all levels from its origin. I command the experience to my library. I command the download of the opposite, whatever that is. And so I am that. And so that is. So Joshelle, if I were you guys, I would start saying, I am money. I am money. It sounds kind of rapper-ish, but I am money. I would use that for 30 days, and we'll check in 30 days. So, but just, I am money. And I'll give you guys, to get into your subconscious mind, you do it right before you go to sleep, meaning like when you're on your way to La La Land, I am money. I am money. If that's what you need, I am money. So you have to become that. Then you can also tap your heart 8 times, at least 8 times during the daytime, and say, I am that. I am that. So this is about getting heart-centered. I am that. So I am money. I am money. I am money. I am money. The truth is you get what you think about most. So if you say I'm money, I'm money, I'm money, it doesn't mean somebody's going to give you $1 million. It means that there's going to be other opportunities that people are going to, come at you with, offer you. It's going to be, the awesome thing about this work, you guys, is that things get magnetically attracted to you. When you say, I am this, and so it is, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Get past this because we already picked Joshelle, so good job. Okay, you guys, here's the thing. I wanted to, the movie The Secret had a lot of amazing things, but there's certain things that they couldn't get in that that movie. And so there's something that The Secret left out. And so there's a universal law of pain. And so the universal law of pain is there to let us know something is out of alignment. Whether it's your heart, your brain, your gut, your spirit, your soul, your mind. So when you feel pain, you're supposed to do something about it. So when you guys get a splinter in your finger, what do you do with it? You immediately, normally, go figure out how to take it out or it'll fester. Well, if you feel some emotional pain or spiritual pain or you know, pain in your knee or wherever the pain is, and you do nothing about it, it's going to persist. It wants to be released. It's telling you, this hurts, I don't want it. You know, if you believe, you have a choice right now to have a life of, you know, joy, love, expansion, money in your pocket, but you have to choose to be out of that pain. And so, and unless you choose to be out of that pain when you first get the twinge of like, wait, I got a splinter, I got to take it out, you will keep getting splinters and keep getting splinters and keep getting splinters. Now, this is the pieces of paper that I'm talking about that keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. And so it's a universal law. You know, it's why the animals that are in a trap will chew off their own arm to get out of the pain. You know, pain is why we'll react to something, but it doesn't always have to be horrible pain, meaning like it can be just that little twinge of pain, like, oh, that's got to be fixed. The other important thing is not to judge yourself. Like, go through, you can use this process all the time. Use this process, share it with people. And so that's one universal law that The Secret left out. So when you feel that pain, you're supposed to do something because something is out of alignment. And just because I do this work doesn't mean that I don't have pain. It just means that I may have something different in my toolbox to use to get me out of pain sooner. But sometimes I still get into my inner Karen. And so, and everybody does. None of us are immune to that. And so if you know that is another important law, as The Secret, the law of attraction is, the truth is you've attracted that pain for a reason. And if you want to be done with that pain, do the process and you can get back into alignment. And therefore, when you practice this process, you can get out of this problem. So you don't need somebody like me working with you one-on-one, going through things. You can do it yourself. Ask yourself, and don't focus on your pain. Focus on the release of it. That's why you do it. As soon as you're in pain, as soon as somebody irritates you in traffic, I remember I had a client that she would rage in traffic. And she was one of these people who she started carrying a piece, carrying her gun in traffic because she would rage all the way home. She would just rage. And it really wasn't about, when we got down to brass tacks, it wasn't about other people. Now this girl was like, she's actually a member of Mensa. She was brilliant. She has like 3 degrees. But just a normal person, you wouldn't think that she would have that kind of rage. But at one point in her life, somebody told her no and wouldn't let her go and wouldn't let her move. And so that feeling of constriction brings her back to that point. And so I'm happy to say that after working with her, and this has been a good 7 years now, she doesn't do that. She doesn't no longer, I was just happy to get the gun off the street because I didn't want to be the person that cut her off. I didn't want anybody else to be that either. But the point of it is just one little trigger from way back can set us off into, a place of no return. And this is somebody who doesn't have a criminal background, just a normal person, never done anything bad to anybody. But she felt so threatened in traffic that this is where it led her. So, anyway, that's the scoop there, people. Use the mantra, I am knowing. Use the mantra, money's awesome for 30 days. Does anybody have any questions? I'll unmute you guys if you guys want to stay a little bit longer for about another couple, like 5 minutes or so. Do you have any questions?
Alan?
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Can you use this process for miracle money?
Sure. Am I done with my screen share? Okay. Yeah, of course you can. So, but you have to realize that you don't have it. And then when you realize that you don't have it. Let's see how we do that. I own the pain of not having money. So I'm responsible for this pain. I'm complete with this pain. Command it released on all levels from its origin. And if you want to say instead of this pain, you can say the pain of not having money. I command the experience of not having money to my library. I command the download of miracle money. And so I am miracle money.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So here's the thing. Like, does a duck act like a duck? A duck doesn't, there's certain characteristics, right? A duck quacks, it swims around. A duck is just, it's an animal that does certain things. So when you're programmed, when you are something, then you do those certain things. So when it's like, I get money raining from the sky. There's, I don't think she's on anymore. I was hoping she was on. Let's see. She must have logged off. There's one of my, one of the students from my group coaching was on, and her name is Gigi. And some of you guys know her because you may have met her at Awaken Life Live. And anyway, so I started her in my coaching group probably, I think it was last November. And because of COVID, actually her coaching landed up being probably another 3 or 4 months. I didn't feel that it was the right thing or the right time to drop them after their agreement ended, especially through this time. So, but if you look on her wall, because we've done so much about wealth programming, and she is rolling in it, and it's not big money that she's showing, but she's showing it. She's just she's one of these people who has a lot of different talents. So she does a lot of little jobs having to do with finances and I believe loans and those kinds of things. And I think being a notary and helping people sign their loan docs and those kinds of things. She does a lot of those little kind of things. She also paints and does all this other stuff. But she's monetized everything that she's done. And she's constantly thinking about it. And all of a sudden it's showing up. She's getting miracle money left and right. she's part of it is she's doing jobs that didn't realize that she did, and she's getting paid for these things after the fact. But like the checks are all landing up together. Like she could do 5 jobs, over the past 6 months, and then all of a sudden they're showing up all on the same day or within a couple of days. So, and these are times where she didn't know how she was going to pay her rent, didn't know how she's going to pay her car payment, those kinds of things. She's posting on her Facebook, not for arrogance, but she's posting it out there because, I pulled this in, and I get posting things about money is a personal thing. And, there's too many people on social media that you don't want knowing where your house is if you got money, but she's throwing it out there, and she's putting it out into the universe. She is money. And so therefore she's receiving money. And therefore the other thing, you guys, is like, she has the big dream. She has this big dream that she wants to create an art gallery with a recording studio and a video studio. And she pictures it. She sees that, she knows what the building is even. So all these things. So she's looking at the big picture. She's looking at the empire as it's already built, and then she's building it accordingly. So like the universe is magically, filling her bowl. So the whole thing, if you're talking about miracle money, use this process to release your attachments. Like Chris, I mean, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of most people because they don't know applied kinesiology. At least you can do the standing method of where you can learn a few things, and then you can ask yourself what you're supposed to work on today. If you're feeling some pain about money. So, but the other thing is, I tell people this, and I've had one student that really hard-headed about a few things. And I said, fake your smile. She says, it's disingenuous. I said, so it's not about being disingenuous. When you smile, you raise your vibration. Doesn't matter if it's a fake smile. What happens is something happens to your whole being. And so your smile and everything, it's different muscles are activated in your face. It puts it above the anger vibration when you smile. And so even if it's a fake smile and a cheesy smile, like, just do that. I mean, that will bring you financial abundance as well. Picturing yourself will bring your, financial abundance. I see, Chris has this awesome picture of her on a vacation somewhere, and there's water behind her. Like, you could take that same picture, cut yourself out, and then put yourself in your mansion, smiling like that, like making those two vibrations clash. Man, super powerful.
That was in Nice a few years ago, and
that's amazing.
Most extravagant trip ever, and I had a wonderful time. Thank you.
Well, and so you're welcome. And so bring yourself to that point. The other thing, you guys, is that you can do is bring your mindset to a time of abundance as well. It's okay to bring your past into your present that way. So bring your past into your present by remembering how abundant you were, and that if you created it once, you can create it again, right? You have the knowledge. So, any other questions, you guys? Yeah, there will be a recording, by the way. I'm just going to go ahead and just, as soon as I end this, as soon as it processes, I'll drop it in the group. So, did you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was how valuable was this training? Just type that in the chat, and can you give me a light bulb moment, like something that hit you and then you said boom? Because if I know these light bulb moments, and I call them light bulbs instead of light bulbs, but when I give you these nuggets, because not every, when I talk with people, I don't just share the nuggets that are on the slides. That's not my intention. My intention is to go ahead and serve the group. So when I share this, there may be something that I didn't put on a slide that I shared. So go ahead and type in the chat, I am money. That was the light bulb. Nice. Chris got that. So 1 to 10. How was this training? If it's a 1, I'm surprised you're still here. But the point of it is, it's a good thing, because I can notice that, and then I can make needed changes. So need instead of want. Yeah. Just like you need water, you need money. Okay, so Nancy got 10. I command the download. I command. Yeah. So Josh Elf said, I forgot the DNA history affects mine as well. The value block, yeah, was not recent. It was more of her history. So, and how to release through the process. Nice. Nice. I got a couple thousands, a couple 11s. Awesome. Well, I give you guys kudos, because we started with a certain amount of people and some people dropped off, and that's certainly fine. I don't get hurt about that. I don't get triggered about that. And why that is because I realized that the people that were supposed to be here landed up being here. And so that's the incredible part of it all. So you guys, I appreciate you coming on, and next time I have a feeling that we're going to go ahead and jump into a few things from about manifesting money. And so I appreciate you guys' time, and I look forward to catching up with you guys again. Anything, here's what you could do. Could you guys help me out if I ask for a little bit of help here? I'm actually going to give myself some water, because I need it. I need this water, just like I need money to do what I want to do when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it. Go ahead, and if you had a great time, and if you gave me a 10 or 11 or 1,000 or whatever, just invite somebody to the group. Just invite somebody to the group, because any of us could say anything at any time to change somebody's life. And we don't know what that is. And so that's the purpose of a group, to serve each other. And so invite some friends. It's a no charge group. And it's important we're building a community of people that are like-minded, life-minded, light-minded, that are ready, willing, and able to make a change in their life and somebody else's life. Because remember, nobody gets there alone. So, and with that, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Namaste. And go out there, be amazing. You are amazing. Make that money, live that life, and be who you came here to be. Awaken your purpose, awaken your soul. And you didn't come here to change the world. You came to wake it up. My good friend Jonathan in England said, came here to wake up the world. And so as you guys are waking up, wake up others, have them join the group, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alan.
You're welcome.
Bye.